Okay, welcome back to video number 25 in the series of elementary logic for first year LLB, BA LLB students from Mumbai University. We are starting with the module 4, definition and logical division. We'll basically summarize all the topics of module 4 in one video and thereafter expand on individual terms or individual topics in separate videos as per needed. So let's look at the definition of logic. We are not going to learn about definition of logic, but what is definition in logic? So in logic, a definition is a precise explanation of the meaning of a term or a concept. Like for every statute or every law, for example, Contract Act or labor law, or for any matter, any particular law book, bare acts, they define the terms that will be utilized or used in the act at the very initial of the book. Now, these definitions they provide clarity, brevity, exclusivity, non-circularity, and positive statements. So basically, they define a term or a word or a concept with its precise explanation. It is used to eliminate ambiguity, clarify ideas, establish the exact nature of the subject being discussed. Definitions play a crucial role in logical reasoning as they ensure consistency and understanding in arguments. Let's look at the characteristics of a good definition. A good definition should have the following attributes. It should be free from vagueness or ambiguity. It should be concise without omitting essential details. It should include everything the term applies to, extension, and exclude everything it does not apply to. A term should not be defined using the term itself. It should describe what the term is rather than what it is not. So basically it should be in a positive statements. So clarity, brevity, exclusivity, non-circularity, and positive statement. There are five characteristics of a good definition. We'll expand them in more detail going forward. Let's look at the types of definitions in logic. There are five definitions: real definition, nominal definition, lexical definition, stipulative definition, and operational definition. Let's start with the real definition. It explains the nature or the essence of a thing. So, what is the nature of a triangle? Nature of a triangle is that it is three-sided polygon. What is a nominal definition? Nominal definition specifies how a term is used or what it signifies. So the term bachelor refers to or signifies that that person is an unmarried man. That's the nominal definition. Whereas the real definition was, it explains the nature or the essence of a thing. Lexical definition. It describes how a term is commonly used in a language. So water means the liquid that is essential for life. Stipulative definition assigns a specific meaning to a new or existing term for the purpose of a discussion. Let x denote the unknown variable in this equation. So stipulative definition assigns a specific meaning to a new or existing term for the purpose of a discussion. Operational definition specifies the procedure or operation to determine whether a term applies. Example, intelligence is defined as the score on an IQ test. So, just to recap, five types of definitions in logic is real definition, explaining the nature; nominal definition, explaining what it signifies, what that term signifies; lexical is basically how that term is used in a language; Stipulative assigns a specific meaning to a new or existing term, and operational definition specifies the procedure or the operation to determine whether a term applies. Let's look at importance of definition in logic. It helps avoid ambiguity and confusion in arguments, which we discussed. It ensures precision in premises and conclusions. It allows logical analysis by clearly stating the terms and their scope. Definition. How it is used in logic. It clarifies the meaning. The primary purpose of a definition is to clarify the meaning of a term or concept. This eliminates ambiguity and ensures precision in communication. It facilitates understanding. By defining term, complex ideas are broken down into simpler components, making them easier to understand and analyze. Third, enabling argumentation. Logical reasoning requires clearly defined terms to construct valid arguments. Definitions form the basis for logical premises. Establishing boundaries. A definition delineates the scope of a term, specifying what is included and what is excluded. Avoiding fallacies. Proper definition helps avoid equivocation, that is, using the same word in different senses, and other logical fallacies. Promoting consistency. In formal discourse, consistency is the use of terms. In the use of terms is essential. Definition ensures that all parties involved in a discussion are aligned. So let us quickly recap what is the purpose in logic. The primary purpose is to clarify the meaning of a term or a concept. So what is a building, what is a dog, and so on. For example, what is a window? So it should be very clear. We are not talking about Microsoft Windows. We are talking about a building's window, for example. So the meaning has to be very clear. So definition provides a clear meaning of a term. Facilitates understanding. So when the term is defined, the complex idea of what a building is, for example, it is broken down into simpler components, making them easier to understand and analyze. Enabling argumentation. Logical reasoning requires clearly defined terms to construct valid arguments. We should know what a contract is. So once we know what a contract is, it is very clearly, it can be argued that we have entered a contract. A verbal contract is not a verbal agreement is not a contract. So the term is very clear, defined. So when something is argued for that thing, it becomes more clearer. Boundaries. When we define something, it delineates the scope of a term. So basically we exclude everything and we include everything that that term defines or that term means. So we have to do both, exclude and include what that term means. Also, it helps us to avoid fallacies. We cannot use one term in different meaning, in different senses. So because that will create more confusion. So when you define a certain thing, excluding all that it is not and including all that it is, then the meaning of that term is very clear. Promoting consistency. When we use definitions or words or terms in our discourses and our talks with others in our daily life also, or in law or in courts, consistently using the exact meaning of the term is very important, so that everybody who is involved in that discussion knows what we are talking about. Purpose of definition in logic. A definition serves several essential purposes in logic. These purposes are foundational to clear thinking, effective communication, and sound reasoning. Below are the primary purposes. Now we are going into more detailed explanation of each of these terms. Clarifying the meaning. This is the most important. Why do we define a term? so that we know more about that term. There is more clarity about that term. A definition eliminates ambiguity and vagueness. Very important. Ambiguity and vagueness by specifying the exact meaning of a term. For example, defining justice in legal discourse ensures clarity when discussing its application. Better understanding. Definition simplifies complex ideas and concepts, making them more accessible to learners and participants in a discussion. So, it is definition is not just about a single word, but it could be a definition of a more complex idea and concepts also. So, defining photosynthesis, for example, it is a biological function which aids the plant in producing food. So, we know what we are talking about when we are entering a discussion. Establishing boundaries, excluding and including, all that it is not and all that it is. A definition sets clear limits for a concept, distinguishing what is included and what is excluded. The definition of a polygon includes triangles and squares but excludes circles. So includes and excludes. Promoting consistency. In logical discourse, consistent use on terms is vital. Everybody has to be on the same page. Definition ensures that the same term is used with the same meaning throughout an argument or text. Defining evidence. What an evidence means. Everybody should know what an evidence is when they are in a discussion or in an argument or a legal argument for that matter. Consistently, defining evidence consistently in a legal argument prevents misinterpretation. So everybody should know what evidence means. Providing a basis for logical arguments. Definitions are the foundation of logical premises. Without clear definitions, constructing valid arguments becomes challenging. Defining sovereignty in political philosophy allows for a structured debate about its implication. Avoiding fallacies. Ambiguous or unclear terms can lead to fallacies like equivocation. Definition prevents such errors by ensuring precision. Example, clearly defining freedom avoids conflicting personal liberty with political freedom in arguments. Facilitating knowledge sharing. Definition enables individuals to share and expand knowledge by agreeing on the meanings of a term. Scientific definition allows researchers worldwide to communicate their findings effectively. Supporting classification and division. Definitions help classify and divide concepts logically, aiding in systematic study and analysis. Example, defining mammal helps in dividing animals into categories based on shared characteristics. Definitions are indispensable tool in logic and reasoning. They ensure clarity, precision, and mutual understanding, forming the bedrock of effective communication and argumentation. Now let's move on to the real and nominal definitions in logic. Real definition. A real definition explains the essence or nature of a thing. A real definition explains the essence or nature of a thing. It seeks to describe the actual characteristic or properties that make an object or concept what it is. So let's look at it with a few examples. So we spoke about a triangle earlier. So what is a triangle? What are its characteristics? What are its property? What it is made up of? What concept it is made up of? So a triangle is basically made up of three-sided polygons with internal angles summing up to 180 degrees. So even if I say a three-sided polygon and all angles of that polygon totaling to 180 degrees, then I can say that it means it's a triangle. What are its characteristics of a real definition? It focuses on the nature of the subject, the characteristics of the subject, the properties of the subject. It identifies necessary and sufficient conditions for the existence of the concept, often used in scientific and philosophical discussion. Water. Water is a substance composed of two hydrogen atoms and one oxygen atom, H2O. So basically we are describing what water is, what are its characteristics, and when we describe something by its properties or characteristics, then that is a real definition of a thing. So real definition explains the essence or nature of a thing. Nominal definition. A nominal definition, on the other hand, explains the meaning or how that term is to be used. The meaning or how the term is to be used. For example, the triangle. So, how the triangle is to be used, or what is the meaning of a triangle. It is concerned with the linguistic or conventional significance of a word rather than its essence or its nature or its characteristics. So let's look at its characteristics. It focuses on the name or term itself. It explains how the term is used or understood in a particular context, often used in dictionaries or when introducing new terms. Example, bachelor means an unmarried man. It's a nominal definition. The word democracy, it is basically the meaning or the use of a term. Democracy refers to a system of government where power is vested in people, typically through elected representatives. Purpose: to clarify the use of a term for effective communication without delving into the nature of the concept. Key difference between real and nominal definition. Real definition focuses on the essence or the nature of the concept, whereas nominal definition focuses on the meaning or the use of the term. Real definition explains what a thing is fundamentally, whereas nominal definition clarifies its linguistic or contextual meaning. How it is to be used, where it is to be used, is defined by nominal definition. Example of a real definition is gold is a yellow malleable metal with atomic number 79. Nominal definition of gold would be that it refers to a precious metal used in jewelry. Real definition is applied in philosophical or scientific discussions, whereas nominal definition is used in everyday language and communication. A real definition digs into the intrinsic nature of a concept, while a nominal definition focuses on the term's usage or linguistic meaning. Both play essential role in logic, with real definitions helping in deeper analysis and nominal definitions aiding in clarity and communication. Let's look at different kinds of definition as per the modern definitions. Modern classifications of definitions are designed to accommodate various contexts such as science, philosophy, general communication. Below are the primary types of definition based on contemporary logic and reasoning. Stipulative definition. What is the purpose of stipulative definition? It introduces a new term or assigns a new meaning to an existing term. Whenever we define a new term, that is stipulative, or when we assign a new meaning to an existing term, it is stipulative definition. It is commonly used in scientific research, legal context, and technical discussions. Example, let X represent the variable for temperature in this experiment. Lexical definition. It explains the commonly accepted meaning of a term as it is used in a language. It is found in dictionaries and everyday communication. For example, tree, a perennial plant with a woody trunk. Precising definition. Purpose, narrows the meaning of a term to remove vagueness or ambiguity. Used in technical, legal, or academic context to ensure precision. Example, for the purpose of this study, poverty is defined as earning less than $2 per day. So it is giving a precise definition of poverty. Theoretical definition provides a definition based on theory or framework, often explaining the term in terms of its role in that framework. It is commonly used in science and philosophy. For example, energy. Energy is defined as the capacity to do work as defined in physics. So, this is a theoretical definition. Operational definition specifies the meaning of a term by describing the operations or the procedures used to measure it. Frequently used in empirical sciences. Example, intelligence is defined as a score obtained on a standardized IQ test. Operational definition specifies the meaning of a term by describing the operations or procedures used to measure it. So if we can measure it or if we need to measure it, then it is operational definition. Persuasive definition. It seeks to influence attitudes or emotions towards the term, often by redefining it in a biased or value-laden way, found in political rhetoric, advertising, or debates. Example, democracy means a system where people's voices are always heard. So here we are giving an emotional touch to the term and we are trying to influence the attitudes and emotions of the people towards that term. So democracy, when we say democracy, it evokes emotions in people. Ostensive definition defines a term by pinpointing to or demonstrating an example of what it refers to, often used in teaching or when verbal explanation is insufficient. Pointing at a cat and saying this is a cat. It's called ostensive definition. That is, we are pointing at a thing or we are bringing attention of others to diverting or bringing it to a particular thing that we want to define and then stating that pointing it towards that cat, we say this is a cat. Enumerative definition defines a term by listing all its member or instances. So when we define an entire class or all its member or one particular thing, it is known as enumerative definition. Helpful when concept has a limited number of elements. The primary colors are red, blue and yellow. So that is enumerative definition because it brings in individual instances of red, blue and green, or it can list all colors of what are all colors, then it will give you the list of all colors. Negative definition explains what a term is not, helping to eliminate misconceptions. Used to clarify complex or misunderstood terms. For example, a square is not a circle. This is a negative definition. We talk about a subject by stating what it is not. Genus-differentia definition. This is important. We will be expanding on this particular topic. It defines a term by identifying its broader category, genus, and specifying its distinguishing characteristics, differentia. Very clear, it will be clear by example. Common in taxonomy and philosophy. For example, a triangle is a polygon with 3 sides. A polygon is a genus. A triangle is a polygon is a genus with 3 sides is a differentia. So let's understand once again. Defines genus-differentia definition defines a term by identifying its broader category. So what is having 3 sides? A polygon, which is a triangle. So the key word here is identifying its broader category and specifying its distinguishing characteristics. What does a triangle have? It has 3 sides. This is what it distinguishes from all the polygons. So a triangle is distinguished from all the polygons by its 3 sides, which is the differentia. How it is differentiated with other members of a class. Let's look at the summary table. Stipulative focuses on assigning a new meaning. Lexical focuses on common meaning of a term. Precising, focus is on narrowing down meaning. Theoretical definition, focus is on framework based meaning. Theoretical, that is. Operational definition focuses on meaning through measurement. Persuasive is used to influence attitudes. Ostensive, pointing points to examples like this is a cat, or this pointing at a tree and saying tree. You can look at examples along with the focus. Negative definition focuses on defining by exclusion what it is not. Enumerative focuses on listing of instances from a larger group. Genus-differentia is broad category plus specific trait. A square is a quadrilateral with equal sides. Alright, now let's look at the traditional view of definition. In the traditional approach, definition is seen as a way to explain the essence or nature of a thing. Rooted in classical logic and philosophy, particularly in the works of Aristotle, traditional definitions focus on clarity, precision, and identifying the essential attributes of a concept. What are the key features of traditional view? Purpose: to reveal the essence or fundamental nature of a thing, to differentiate a concept from others within the same category. Structure: genus and differentia. Traditional view of definition was that it should be genus, it should be structured or divided into two parts, genus and differentia, the broader category or class to which the concept belongs, and distinguishing characteristics that separate the concept from others within the same genus. This is often referred to as genus-differentia method of definition. We'll look at it in more detail going forward. Example: a triangle is a polygon. We already saw this example. It's a genus. Polygon is a genus. It is a broader category. Polygon includes triangles, squares, rectangle, and so on. Genus includes the broader category, while differentia distinguishes the characteristics that separate the concept. Now, a triangle is separated from the polygon with the characteristics of three sides, so which is differentia. Essential nature: a definition must focus on the essential characteristics, not accidental or incidental ones. Example: a human is a rational animal. The essence here is rationality and being an animal. Essential nature, we'll read again. A definition must focus on the essential characteristics, not the accidental or incidental ones. Universality: definitions should apply universally to all instances of the concept. Exclusion of contradiction: the definition should exclude anything that does not belong to the concept. Types of definitions in traditional view: there are nominal definition and real definition, which we saw earlier also. Now let's start with the real definition first. It describes the essence or the nature of the thing being defined. This we already saw. So it says, what is gold? Gold is a yellow malleable metal with atomic number 79. This is the real definition of what a gold is. Whereas the nominal definition is, a bachelor is an unmarried man. So it is defining, explaining the meaning in a language. It's explaining the meaning of the term itself. Whereas real is explaining the actual definition of what gold is. That is, what is its nature is, what are its characteristics. So it has atomic number 79. Rules for good definition, traditional criteria. Same thing: clarity, non-circularity, adequacy, positivity, and consistency. Let's go through one of them. Clarity means that it should not obscure or be ambiguous. The term being defined should not appear in the definition itself. That is, it should not be non-circular. Dog is a dog which eats like that. That's kind of an example. What is a dog? Dog is an animal which has four legs. So that is a circularity. We cannot have that. Adequacy. The definition should neither be too broad nor too narrow. Positivity. Definitions should state what the thing is rather than not what it is not. Consistency. The definition should not contradict itself. Criticism of the traditional view. Overemphasis on the essence. Critics argue that focusing on the essence is not always practical, especially in fields like science where operational or theoretical definitions are more useful. Rigidity. The traditional approach may lack flexibility in accommodating evolving concepts or terms. Exclusion of context. It often neglects the linguistic and social context in which terms are used. So traditional view, we'll just do a comparison between traditional and modern view. The focus of traditional view of definition is that it is basically focused on the essence or the fundamental nature of a concept, whereas modern view looks at the context, usage and practical applicability. Traditional view uses genus-differentia method. Modern view includes stipulative, operational, etc., which we studied earlier. Traditional view example is a human is a rational animal, whereas modern view of the same would be intelligence is a score on an IQ test. The traditional view remains foundational in classical logic and philosophy but is complemented by modern approaches in various fields to accommodate practical and evolving contexts. Now let's look at per genus et differentium definition. The per genus et differentium method of definition, derived from Aristotelian logic, is a traditional approach to defining terms. This method involves identifying the genus. Now what is a genus? The broader category to which the term belongs, and the differentia. So if I have to explain with a Venn diagram, so this could be a genus, the broader category. Inside there could be multiple subcategories. So for example, this could be a polygon genus. Inside we have square, triangle, rectangle and so on. Now if we have to clearly define one of the terms of the genus, then that is known as differentia. We have to differentiate the properties of this one particular term from the others. That is a differentia. So this method involves identifying the genus, the broader category to which the term belongs, and the differentia, the specific characteristics that distinguishes the term from others within that genus. Below are the key rules for constructing a definition using this method. What is the rule for constructing a definition? State the genus clearly. The definition must include the broader category or class to which the term belongs. A triangle is a term which belongs in a polygon, and polygon is the genus because it's a broader category. So first we clearly have to understand what genus is, okay, and separate that. Then provide the differentia, the distinguishing feature. The differentia must specify the unique characteristics that differentiates the term from other members of the genus. In a triangle is a polygon with three sides. Three sides is the differentia because that is what distinguishes a triangle in a polygon from its other members, that is. Avoid circularity. The definition should not use the term being defined as part of the definition itself. So the example would be, the incorrect way of saying it is, a triangle is a figure with triangular properties. Now we don't know what triangle is. We are trying to figure out the definition of triangle. Therefore we cannot use the word triangle itself in the definition. The correct way is, a triangle is a polygon with three sides. Ensure adequacy. The definition should be neither too broad nor too narrow. It must encompass all members of the term being defined and exclude non-members. A triangle is a shape. It's too broad because everything has a shape, and it's too narrow that a triangle is an equilateral polygon, because we have isosceles triangle, we have equilateral triangle, right angle triangle. So we should not exclude also, and we should not narrow it down in such a way that it excludes many of them, and it should not be too broad also. Focus on essential characteristics. The definition should capture the essential and intrinsic attributes of the term, not accidental or incidental features. Example: a human is a rational animal focuses on the essential qualities, rationality and being an animal, not attributes like tall or wear clothes. Avoid negative definitions. A definition should state what the term is, not merely what it is not, unless absolutely necessary. The incorrect way of putting or avoiding negative definitions is: a triangle is a shape that is not a square. So now first we need to know the square in that case. So that is the incorrect way of saying it. And we have to put it as in this way. The correct way is: a triangle is a polygon with three sides. Be clear and unambiguous. The definition must be stated in clear, precise terms to avoid confusion or misinterpretation. Example: a square is a quadrilateral with four equal sides and four right angles. A square is a quadrilateral with four equal sides and four right angles. Be clear and unambiguous. This we discussed. Avoid negative definitions. Focus on the essential characteristics. Ensure adequacy. Avoid circularity. Provide the differentia, that is the distinguishing features, and state the genus clearly. Now let's look at the avoid overlaps. The differentia should not overlap with the genus or other categories, ensuring each part of the definition is distinct. For example, a quadrilateral is a four-sided polygon with sides. It's a redundant mention of sides. Sides is not required to be mentioned. Four-sided polygon with sides. So again we are using sides two times. So it says avoid the overlap. Universality. The definition should apply to all instances of the term being defined. A bachelor is an unmarried adult man applies universally to all bachelors. Logical consistency. The definition should not contradict itself or include any self-refuting elements. For example, a square is a quadrilateral with four unequal equal sides. So this is logical inconsistency. The definition should not contradict itself or include any self-refuting element. So when I say with four unequal equal sides, then that's an incorrect way of saying it. A square is a quadrilateral with four equal sides. Conclusion. Let's look at the per genus et differentium method ensures that definitions are clear, precise, and logically sound. This approach remains one of the most widely used and reliable methods for defining concepts in logic, philosophy, and various fields of study. Now let's do some fill in the blanks. Alright, a definition is primarily used to clarify the meaning of a term. The dash of a term includes all instances it applies to. The dash of a term includes all instances it applies to. It's a differentia. Extension. The extension of a term includes all instances it applies to. Okay. The distinguishing characteristics in a genus et differentium definition is called the differentia. Okay, the distinguishing characteristics. A good definition should be free from ambiguity. A dash definition specifies the essential nature of a thing essential nature of a thing, characteristics, properties. It is real definition. Definitions that rely on examples or demonstrations are called ostensive definitions. Ostensive definitions rely on examples or demonstrations. The definition, a bachelor is an unmarried man, is an example of a nominal definition. The term should not be defined using itself. This is a violation of the rule against circular definition. A definition that narrows a term's meaning for specific use is called a precising definition. The dictionary provides dash definitions of a word, theoretical definitions of a word. Or is it lexical? Lexical is used in language, so it has to be lexical. The definition gold is yellow malleable metal with atomic number 75 is a real definition. The definition, a triangle is a polygon with 3 sides. A triangle is a polygon with 3 sides, uses the genus at differentium. Let me check the answer. The definition, a triangle is a polygon with 3 sides, uses the genus at differentium method. Definitions in science are often dash definitions based on theories, of course, theoretical definition. Let x represent variable for temperatures is a stipulative definition. Defining a term by describing the procedure to measure it is an example of an definition. Defining a term by describing the procedure, operational. A definition designed to influence attitudes or emotions is called persuasive definition. Poverty means earning less than $2 per day is an example of a dash definition. Poverty means it is nominal. Oh, it's precising. So we'll have to revise. I'll have to actually revise through all of them again. Definitions that explain what something is not are called negative definitions. A definition that lists all the instances of a term is called enumerative definition. A polygon is a closed figure with straight lines is an example of a definition of a real definition. Genus at differentium. So I'll have to go through this topic again. So this way it will help us to understand whether we have clarity of what it's trying to say, what a particular definition is, or what a particular topic is. It seems I'll have to revisit the genus at differentium again in more detail. I create a video on that. A definition should state the dash clearly. A definition should state the genus clearly. The rule against dash definitions prohibits using the term being defined in the definition circular. The differentia should highlight the dash characteristics of the term, the essential characteristics of the term. The definition must be dash, covering all instances of the term. A definition should be I think it's universal. Let's go with universal. A definition that states a chair is not a table violates the rule against precising. A chair is not a table. It could be a negative definition also. I think it's more pointing towards a negative definition. The genus must be a dash category in the definition. The genus must be a larger category. The differentia should not dash with the genus, should not overlap with the genus. A definition must be dash, ensuring precision and clarity. Definition must be clear and unambiguous, ensuring precision and clarity. A square is a quadrilateral with 4 equal sides, follows the rules of stating the genus et differentia. A good definition should focus on the dash characteristics rather than accidental ones. A good definition should focus on essential characteristics. The primary purpose of a definition is to, of course, clarify the meaning of a term. Definitions establish the boundaries of a term, identifying what is included and excluded. Definitions help avoid logical fallacies by ensuring precision. Providing a definition ensures the dash in the use of the term, consistency in the use of the terms. Definition allows for effective communication of concepts. Okay, this completes the video on definition and logical divisions. I have partly covered a few of the topics from the module 4 in this video. Now, in the next video, I'll cover traditional definition, its rules and fallacies in more detail. There is also have to be covered modern definitions, what are its kind and methods and purpose. Although I have covered this in this video, we'll go into more details. There are two more topics: definition and law, how it is used, precising definition with special reference to specific definition, private and public nuisance, laws of torts, consent, law of contract, medical negligence. So you have to utilize the definitions in all of these statutes. We'll also learn about division, logical division, rules and fallacies of division, division by dichotomy, kinds of evidence. Thank you very much. It's a long video. Thank you for your time. Hope this video has helped you. I wish you the best of luck for your exams which are nearing now. Thank you very much for listening, and do share it with your friends if it has helped you. Take care. Bye bye.